I heard about the steps, they were talking about the steps course, and I'd sort of thought something I'd like to do, but it was only when I heard that there was one that was happening very close to where I live, I thought, oh, maybe someone's trying to tell me something, maybe I should get on and do this that I've been saying would be a nice idea. But I think also around about that time, I received a negative email from somebody. My initial reaction was to sort of go off and sort of hit the ceiling. And so I had a rant at my husband about it and then thought about it for a bit, and then I calmed down, and then I was able to reply to it calmly. A reaction to an email is a very small thing in the greater scheme of things, but it was something that was making my life less good, worse, and I just felt fed up with that reaction, and I thought maybe steps would be able to help me with that. With steps, they encourage you to work on one area of your life at a time, and you stick with that throughout the 12 steps. And so I identified that the problem in my life was that I had this feeling of never being quite good enough. And receiving that email just sort of made me realise that's what was at the bottom of it, and that was why I had that extreme reaction to what was just a not very negative email, but it was my reaction that surprised me. I was surprised that what steps wasn't. And it wasn't looking into my life and trying to work out who was to blame for all my hang-ups. And there wasn't anybody sort of telling me what to do. And it also wasn't a quick fix. Because when I went along, I thought, I have this annoying habit, reaction. I would really like to, if I do these 12 steps, hopefully at the end I'll be fixed and I won't have this problem anymore. But it wasn't any of those three things. Some took me a while to sort of get used to the format of the steps evenings. The fact that we were told that you didn't have to listen when other people were speaking, which I thought sounded very rude, because I'd always been brought up to listen when people are talking. Also, to see that time as to say what I needed to say, because we go through, there are questions in the book, and you sort of answer the questions in the group time. Learning tools is very much a part of doing the steps course. I was out for lunch with somebody and they made a chance remark which provoked the similar reaction to the one I'd had at the beginning. And initially I was really cross with myself and I thought, oh, no, I'm not fixed. But I was able to use the tools and to realise that it was my reaction was as much at fault as their chance remark, and I could deal with that with using the tools that I'd learnt on the steps course. And I think the main change I experienced, the main thing that I learnt from it was it's okay to be okay, and working on the step of never being good enough, to realise that I was okay. And something that happened during the week of step 11 was we'd been invited to dinner with some old friends, and I offered to make the dessert, and I decided to make chocolate mousse, and it was a disaster. The chocolate mixture was too thick and it squashed the life out of all the little bubbles in the egg white. And so instead of having a nice bowl full of frothy chocolate mousse, I had a layer of chocolate fondant at the bottom of the bowl. And my first response was what I would always have said, which was, this isn't good enough. I'll go around the shop and buy a lemon tort and take that instead. And then I thought about what I was working on in steps, which was this feeling of never being quite good enough. And I thought, well, it is edible. So I smothered it in cream, took it, and it was okay. And people ate it and nobody died. And I was okay with that. And so that was a small step, but that made me realise that that was, the thing I felt I've learned most was that it's okay to be okay.